Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Average Superstar TV. I'm your host, Lauren Lepre. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. And this is a special episode. This is actually my 50th episode. That's how crazy this is. So I thank everybody for the support. This is also a end of the year movie roundtable where we're going to be going through, me and the guests will be going through our top 5 best movies of the year, and so many disappointments. We're not like going to do a whole top 5 on that, but we're just going to throw some films out there that maybe let us down. We do have another person coming in shortly because they had to be late and go see Avatar 2. So, but yes. So with me, we got the great Christina Puff Effects returning for the second time, and say hello, Chris.
Hello.
Yes. And direct from the UK for the second time, we got the great Scotty.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. I just love your voice. So you're welcome here anytime.
Oh, thank you.
So for the audience, we're just going to be going through what we thought, just some opinions. And I will start off. Where are we at here? Don't worry, folks. We're gonna have a good ride here. Let's just start off with. I don't want to say I totally hated this movie, but it had problems. But so I am going to throw it in my letdown section. But this is the least of the letdowns. I will go with this last Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I actually talked about in a previous show. I'd just like to go out and say this falls into the category of problems with every horror movie, which is this. Mm-hmm. I just cannot get behind a cast like this. Let's just call it the writing in horror movies. You got your horror movie icon, your protagonist, and you got to have on the other side people to root for. You got to be able to get there. That's why Laurie Strode worked for so long, and Tommy Jarvis stuff, because we wanted to root for those people. This group, I could care less. Every one of them could have died in 30 seconds, and I just didn't care.
Hello.
I was like, is it just me or is it everybody else? No, it's just me.
No, I'm here.
Yeah. Although I do agree with what you said.
Yes, I agree too. I mean, that group looked weak, you know?
Yeah, they didn't look kind of final girly, did they?
No.
Like there didn't seem like a final girl.
I know. I mean, don't get me wrong. That movie personally didn't it wasn't like my worst, but it's just the casting is just everybody's so soft anymore.
Hi, you there?
Hi.
Hello. Welcome back.
So everything went out, like everything's flicked in the house. That's awesome. So you guys got to talk on everything?
Yes.
I was just gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, I hope you had a good conversation.
We did.
Awesome. Yeah, it was just weird, but everything flicked and then everything went black, and I was like, reboot. We'll get this back up. But
when in doubt, restart.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know I was in the middle of Texas, but yeah, I was just saying that cast sucked. But I didn't exactly hate the movie. I just looked at it as a letdown. So moving on, Scotty, you had one of the. So we'll just say also to save a little bit of time. This made my list as well as a disappointment. Scream.
I mean, yeah, I can agree with that one too.
Yeah. All right. So we're all three and agree. Yeah. But Scotty, this is your choice. So go for it first. The floor.
Okay. Out of the ones that I did pick, I didn't hate it, but like there was issues, weren't there? There were like, are we allowed to say spoilers? We are, yeah.
Yeah, it's a year old.
I was just checking. I was just like, but you know, like the bit where like Dewey dies. I mean, that's sad. And I'm glad they had the balls to kind of do it, but he kind of went out just a bit shit. And there was no way that Ghostface was that fucking girl. I don't care what anybody says. That was not that girl.
I thought of like how many times he escaped. Like he escaped the wrath of Mickey and Stu and Billy, and like this girl who said, I think 50 words in the whole movie. You gave the honor to kill Dewey to her.
I know.
I was just like, yeah. And I mean, spoiler alert. We saw the trailer out today. Hey, Dave.
It is I.
It is I.
Hello.
Dave, welcome to the show. Scott, we're just in the middle of going over Scream 5 for a second for one of the selections. And we're just going around the room and just dropping opinions, but we're in the middle of Scream 5. But go on, Scotty.
It was just so lackluster. I mean, like, I think, in all honesty, from Scream 3 to Scream 5, this is why I'm a bit hesitant about Scream 6, but they've just been a bit, like, the charm of the first and the second one, because I liked the first
It's a
two.
cash grab now. Ever since part 4 should have been titled, Just Give Me the Paycheck. It's the best way I could explain it. Like,
this whole sort of like meta type thing that they had going did work for them, but they didn't rely on it. Whereas like now it's just, it's getting a bit stale. It's getting a bit stale. To be nice, it's just getting a bit stale.
I think it's the heart's completely gone. Christine, I know this made your list as a disappointment as well. Go for it.
Oh, Scream?
Yeah.
Personally, like she said, I mean, after they killed Jamie Kennedy, I was like not into Scream anymore. But I personally just the whole franchise of that movie, it's just getting old. And it's like I haven't even watched the trailer for the 6th one. I know Dave has, and I've heard some mixed reviews about it already from another person today, and I'm just like, what is the purpose of this? Like, I just personally, I'm not a fan of it. The franchise, like the first and second one, okay, that's it. I'm done after that.
First one's very important to horror because I think it brought it back, and it was definitely like a whole. Because from the 90 to like 96, things were bad in horror. There wasn't a lot going on that was good.
Right.
So I thought Resurrection, but it's jumped the shark. It's no. Oh, we got a 5th cast member coming in here.
So Lucy wants to say hi.
Hey, Luce, how you holding up? You're not the first. You're not the first kid to crash the show. It's welcome.
All right,
Hi, Lucy.
Lucy, tell them what do you think of Ghostface? Do you like him? Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry. If give it like 5 years, you can play him. Probably they'll hire you.
All right. Why don't you go in the other room, watch something with mommy? Okay.
That's what I said when I saw the trailer, Lucy. Cool. Cool. Yeah, Dave. Any feedback on that last Scream?
So I am of the, I guess, well, not unpopular here, but unpopular on social media that Scream 4 was my least favorite. 1 and 2 are amazing. 2 is probably one of the best slasher sequels in existence. And I feel like the 5th one works well. It does the requel thing better than Scream 4, but it kind of only works if that's the last one you're doing. The fact that they're even doing a 6th one kind of ruins the whole charm of the 5th one, I feel.
And didn't this the first one out, Nev, right?
The 6th one will be the first one because she was still in the 5th one.
Yeah.
Albeit not too much. And I'm excited for the people who are excited for it. And yeah, it's going to be cool to actually see a slasher movie go to New York City and actually go there for the whole movie instead of Jason.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that, Ghostface.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, Dave, you got you have your top 4 here of your disappointments here. Morbius.
Oh, that one. So
the floor is yours. We'll go around the room then.
I just want to say that I think it's hilarious that Morbius is the only movie in history that flopped twice because everyone on Twitter conned Sony into releasing it again in theaters.
I didn't even know this happened. I just knew
it was like there was all this buzz about it, and they released it again, and it flopped again. And then there was even a change.org petition saying, "Hey, we were all busy that weekend, Sony. Can you release it again?" They didn't. But the thing about Morbius is I kind of went in expecting it to be so bad it was funny, and it was just so bad it was dull. Like that was like I can take. I'm a horror fan. I can take so bad it's entertaining. Morbius was just boring, and you would think a guy as creepy as Jared Leto is in real life could be creepy as a vampire, but like he takes himself too seriously, and he plays it like too dramatically, and it's boring.
Yeah, I could honestly. First off, I think Leto's one of the best actors we ever had. I know he gets a lot of flack. I like all his work. I don't care that he's a lunatic. All actors are lunatics, but I have to actually bow out and say I never saw this movie, so I should just stand over here and pass the puck to the girls if they even saw it.
Never saw it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, then.
He's a good actor with the right stuff.
Yeah.
Loved him in Lord of War.
Oh, look, I stick up for the Leto Joker. I'm one of those. Okay, so just everyone needs to deal with that.
But at least with that, he made bold choices. And Morbius, he's just boring.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to one of my next. Scream was already in there, so we just brought that up. Let me go with this. I will call human shit film. This one I'm attacking hard. What did I just watch? Because I swore I saw this is the same exact movie. Let's just bring that up again. Smile is It Follows. And I didn't like either one of these. I mean, I just saw it. It just came on like Peacock or something for free. And I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm into that. I need to see this. And then I saw it within 10 minutes. As soon as the very opening credits of like what happens, I was like, this is It Follows. This is just a dip with a smile. I was like, it's the same. We don't know what it is. The movie's over. And I was like, I need that 90 minutes back. I should just watch more Three Stooges. Anybody else see this movie?
So
no, I've not seen it because I heard it's exactly like It Follows, and I didn't like that, so I was like, I'll skip it.
Yeah, I only give It Follows credits because it had Jersey's license plate, so I'm assuming it was a Jersey film. So I give it a little. I give PA and Jersey. I always try to stick up for them. But Chris, did you see this or no?
I did see this.
And did you like or dislike?
I'm like 50-50 with this one.
Okay.
It was like you said, it felt like It Follows. the same thing. And I mean, mind you, it had some creepy moments, but I still didn't understand the full concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Dave, why don't you take the stage on this? Because I'm sure you have something to say about it.
I'm gonna disagree. Smile was not It Follows. Smile was The Ring. So you could make that argument. No, so
well, I think a lot of us do. We like The Ring a lot. Most people like The
classic.
Ring. Yeah. At least understand The Ring. I mean, we saw a videotape and we're like, "What was that?" But I'm freaked out. But at least it came together. Like everything got explained, and It Follows. I was just like,
so there's a saying that something the whole thing is greater than the sum of its parts. Smile was kind of the opposite of that. The parts, like the scary scenes and the atmosphere and the tension within, were greater than kind of the whole thing as like one movie, so to speak. And I think that it's very telling that it started out as a short film that was really creepy and people loved it. And then they're like, we got to expand that out to feature length. So you capture what made the short film creepy, but then you do run the risk of, why does this need to be a whole movie? And it's about 20 minutes too long. That said, they had the best marketing I have ever seen in a horror movie, where they hired actors to smile creepily at baseball games. Kudos to the studio for that.
I give them that, and I said I thought the trailer. I was like, I'm into this. I need to see that, and then I did, and I gave them rope, and they hanged themselves with it. So, so Scotty's next one is my number one disappointment, and I'm pretty sure Christina's. Dave will find out in a second. So we're getting like technically 4 picks out of the way here with my. I'll say this is my human shit film of the year. Boom! Everybody start crying. Everyone starts saying, "What the hell did I just watch?" Definitely, Halloween Ends. I didn't like all 3 of these installments at all, but there's so many gaps between Evil Dies Tonight and this film that are just not explained. It was piss poor writing. I like Danny McBride as an actor. I think he's one of the funniest guys ever, and this is the end. Keep him away from my movies. Keep him away from the script writing. I just think this was an epic fail of a film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Scotty, go for it.
I've had this argument 100 times. It's just, well, not even an argument because everybody agrees with you. It's like, why introduce somebody new as the final film?
The biggest grief I had, like beef I had with that, was Michael Myers lost a street fight in the sewer and has his mask taken. Like, after everything the guy's been through, he gets beat up by a teenage whiny boy. It's like, and I'm taking your mask too, and he gets like, oh God. The only thing I liked was the meat there, the grinder at the end. I was like, that's a cool way to get him, but just like he's been through all that shit. Years earlier, he got smashed in the head repeatedly in a street fight, killed everybody, but he dies on a kitchen table. And she says, "Oh, you're just a human. You could die. Watch this." And it's like
it's just stupid. It's so stupid. Like,
yeah,
I don't get the point of it. Like, no, I mean, I do get the point of it. They've done it so they can make money.
It's a cash grab.
That's upset me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think that's disgusting.
My biggest fear with Myers, Voorhees, Krueger is they're owned by studios that aren't horror movie people, so that we don't know what we're gonna get. It's hard. Christina.
So what was the first one of this?
2018.
Okay, yeah. That's the one I saw, and I saw it in the theater, and I fell asleep. So what does that tell you about Kills and Ends?
Yeah,
I tried to get you to watch Halloween Kills.
I know he tried to get me to watch it like a couple weeks ago,
and I'm like, come watch this. And
I had my blinders on,
and you didn't want to watch it, but I tried.
I did not. I don't know what it is, but I just, I heard enough from, everybody else. So yeah, I don't know. Eventually I will, when I have nothing else to do, I will watch those movies again. But honestly,
bring tissues and some Pepto-Bismol because you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Dave, your thoughts on it though?
So I will say this, and take this with a grain of salt. Halloween Ends, I think, is the best of the trilogy, of like the new trilogy. I thought it was better than Halloween 20 and Halloween Kills, and I'll tell you why. Because
one of them has to be your favorites. Go for it.
The first 2 spend a lot of time and energy reminding you why you like the original instead of doing new things. So the way I look at Halloween Ends is, I completely agree with the very valid criticisms. Introduce Corey earlier. Introduce him in 2018. Introduce him in Kills. Set that up more. Michael Myers is barely in it. I even, I think I made a meme of Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Like, so you do plan on having Michael Myers in this Halloween movie, don't you?
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem I had with that was this is the final fight between these two, and they were like a subplot to like the new
exactly. So as like a standalone one-off movie, I think it's better than it is it is a terrible final installment of a trilogy.
Yeah,
and you get the sense that they kind of went or at least I think they did. It feels like they went the route of the Star Wars sequels, where it's like, it kind of seems like they didn't have they just said, let's do a trilogy, but then they didn't have like a roadmap of what that trilogy was, and they were making it up as they went along.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll put all bet in now. We have a Michael Myers film within the next 4 years. I could just feel it, But all right, moving on. Christina gets this round. We'll give her the floor with the monsters. Yeah.
Horrible. You want to talk about, putting someone to sleep. This one definitely did it for me. From the moment it started till the 2 hours that I wasted watching this film, I just watched it because I just wanted to finish it and tell everybody how horrible it was. It literally bored me the entire time. Mind you, I'll give them credit. Set design, beautiful, because I'm into that shit. I like the spooky decor and all that stuff. I love it. The makeup looked really good. But as for some of the acting, I'm not going to, I can be specific, but Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily, I just, I'm sorry. She killed it. She murdered that whole movie.
Yeah.
And there was some good acting in it. Don't get me wrong, but it just was horrible. The whole plot of the movie did not make sense. It just, they should have just stuck to making a normal episode, and that's it. You get one.
Yeah.
And you're
I was one of them. I mean, I'm like a lot of you here that love I don't like when things come to the big screen like that. I think the Brady Bunch movie was about the only thing I was excited for, because they're gonna make fun of themselves in modern time. I was like, all right, cool. But I like the Munsters the way it is. I'm a big Marilyn Munster fan. It's I get lost looking at her every time I say, I'm like, oh, but because I love Marilyn Monroe. But at the same time, I didn't think this needed to be touched. And then soon as Rob got it, I was actually like, okay. I was like, a guy that grew up liking this would probably do it right. And then he did his junkie. My wife has to be in everything. And I was like, really? Yeah. And if every actress in Hollywood, you just hand the grand role to her, I was like, yeah. So I choose not to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his love and devotion for his wife, but it's there's a time when it's okay, find better actors.
Yeah, or put her in the movie for 5 minutes as a smaller role.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
Dave, the floor is yours on that if you happen to have seen it.
So let me preface this by saying I have always been more of an Addams Family fan than a Munsters fan. So it wasn't like a sacred property to me going into it. That said, what did any of us expect after that first trailer came out? It looked cheap. It looked bad.
I think we were supposed to go to the theater, right? And then they just said, give it to Netflix, which is just called we screwed up. Go.
According to Zombie's Instagram post, he said it was always meant to go there. I will leave that to be interpreted whether or not that's true. But look, I like Daniel Roebuck as the grandpa. I thought he was the only one that felt like he was actually playing the character. I felt like Sherry was she wasn't playing Lily Munster. It felt like she was doing a bad SNL impression of Lily Munster. I actually watched it 3 times to study it. How does this movie exist? How can it be?
What's wrong with you?
And this is why you're on Prozac, Dave.
I am a horror academic at heart. So I have to study these things.
He had to dissect it.
I'll say it looks better if you watch it in black and white. And
that's a good idea.
I went in expecting it to be terrible. So in a weird way, it didn't disappoint me because it was exactly as badly written and acted as I expected it to be. So it wasn't oh my God, why is this so bad? Because I knew it was going to be.
Gotcha. All right, well, Dave, we're going to stay with you because it is one of your picks here. This is also one of Scotty's picks for what she thought was bad, too. Jeepers Creepers Reborn. We'll give you the floor after I say that when this franchise came out, I got into it, and then I found out who this guy was and what he did, and I was completely out. I will never watch anything that this guy ever touches for the, no. So just leave that up there for everyone to read for a second. And other than that, now the floor is yours.
So let me start by saying I was on the fence of whether or not to see this movie at all because of that reason.
Yeah.
The only reason I was okay doing it was I did my research and found out that he was not involved in this in any way, shape, or form. That made me okay at least seeing it.
So he didn't direct it then?
No, he had nothing to do with it.
So the studio basically took it. Okay.
Yeah. That said, it's a terrible movie. Like, it's like I can, and maybe it's because I've done independent filmmaking here, and I've dabbled in acting and screenwriting, and I can see where the seams are. And when your movie, when I've seen YouTubers use better green screen than like a professional movie, it's very hard for me to look. So it's just a very poorly technically put together movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like, to me, it's like Hellraiser 6 at this point. Like, I don't know where they're going. It's made to go to the video shelves. Like, I just think it's this, they see what they could get out of it. They probably try to get this minimum budget and hope that they could double it, at this point. But anyway, so between all four of us, since we had repeaters, we're done except for one more by you that made the list, Dave. And so we're going to stay here with you with the main one.
Now, I literally just saw this last week.
I did not see it yet, so yeah.
So again, this is a movie that is riding on the coattails of Terrifier 2 because of the casting of David Howard Thornton, who is the best part of this movie, and he's like the only good part in that his physicality is great as like this killer Grinch. Except
are you basically saying that like only David wasn't enough to save the film? Like without him, it's no,
because again, this is a movie that it looks like it was made by college students. Like half the movie takes place at night, and it's so grainy you can't see anything because they didn't light it properly.
All right.
And what is unforgivable is when the Grinch is killing people, like zero practical blood or gore. It's all this awful CG looking blood that looks like it was like a filter that I could have used on the free editing program that I have.
Yeah, you really run the risk of when you put CGI blood in any way, shape, or form. Even the almighty Walking Dead got into some of that, and I was like, oh, it's like sometimes it was like I think they wanted to speed things up, and I'm like,
well, I don't believe it. Easier, it's cheaper, but more often than not, it looks terrible.
Yeah, I don't even like explosions with fire. Like a lot of times, I'm like, cool, but I could tell that's a computer, man. It's like cool. All right, well, then we're going to ring the bell. That's the end of being negative. Let's go to what we think were our top 5 here. So recently I saw a flick that was a curveball to me. I was just looking killing time, and I saw this. I liked it. Maybe it's just because I got into the character and I felt bad for this particular what the title of the movie is. So this came from Netflix, Troll. I actually got, guys, I don't know what happened. I just got into this film. It's free on Netflix. I'm not some person that was like, I love Troll movies. When you say Troll, I think of 1985 and that awesome song in the kitchen and stuff. And Troll 2, of course. But it's just, I don't know. I got into it. I thought it was well done. I felt bad for the character. I felt really bad at the end. I thought it was this, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it wasn't some slasher. I got into it, but I don't know if any of you guys saw it. Nobody?
No.
I meant to watch it, and I haven't yet.
Don't worry about it. This is just one person's opinion. But yeah, Troll would be number 5 for me. David, what I'm about to bring up was also on Christina's list. May have been on yours too, Scotty. But so we're doing a 3-pack here. Number 5. The Black Phone. So this is, I said, David, the floor is yours, and then we'll go around the room.
So when I heard Scott Derrickson was off of Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness, I was very upset. And then I found out he was adapting a Joe Hill short story, and I was very happy again. This movie, it's like it goes to such dark, brutal places with like child kidnapping and murder, yet it manages to have such heart, and it's like so inspiring in that like I mean, at its core, it's not about, you know, abduction and murder. It's about a kid learning to stand up for himself against like the ultimate bully. And oh my God, Ethan Hawke goes to places I didn't know he could go to.
I think he needed to, because I think like a lot of his roles I thought were like lately, I thought were like lame parents, like just unlikable characters. Like this guy, you know, he's a bad guy, but I just thought, yeah, this was a good action beat for him. Yeah. Christina, you like this one too?
I did. I enjoyed it because it's, you know, to me it wasn't so much even a horror movie too. It was like a very suspenseful
suspense thriller.
Yeah. And I can't think of the movie that it reminds me of, but just the whole like across the street the entire time, like the whole trickery behind it. And I kind of had a feeling, you know, like midway through, and I'm like, there's something going on. But even like the mask, you know, the only reason I really knew about like the whole look of Ethan Hawke and that is the mask was created by Tom Savini and one of his associates, and it is really creepy, and I really, really enjoyed that as well. So just the whole suspenseful. And the one thing I didn't understand is like, and maybe Dave can chime in on this, is the whole like almost superstitious kind of what was going on with that, like him talking on the phone and like hearing it. Was it just himself like being, I don't know.
I mean, it was the ghosts of the children. It went into that supernatural.
Yeah.
And again, it's a Joe Hill story, son of Stephen King, and according to Stephen King, all books and movies must have psychic children in them. So it's following that trope.
Gotcha.
I gotta say, I liked all the children. Like, I just thought their acting, I thought all their characters, like each one went, I was like, oh, you know, it was like the opposite of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with those, you know, we're gonna take over and make this town hip, you know. But so yeah, I like this film. This film almost made my list.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was good. The acting was amazing, especially the little girl. She was brilliant.
Absolutely.
She killed it.
Cool. Okay, so next we're gonna go with your Scotty, your number 5, which was The Watcher.
Yeah, you weren't too keen on this one, were you?
No, I was not.
I think because I live by myself and I'm a woman on my own, and like I've got neighbors who can look straight into my house. When I was watching it, because it is a very slow burn, it is very slow. I will, you know, that's maybe not a good point about it, but you know, you're sat there and I was getting kind of paranoid. I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I went and turned off like some lights. I was like, and like I spent most of the movie going, is she just a bit crazy? Like, is this all in her head? So,
very
you know,
beautiful actress. The main antagonist, I thought, was really creepy. I mean, it definitely had the creep factor. I just overall in the end, I don't think it just delivered. I guess with the buildup for me. I mean, I'm glad you liked it. I don't know if Christina or Dave saw this at all.
Yeah, I actually just watched this like a week ago, and I enjoyed it too. And like she said, it had like a very creepy, like someone's watching me. Like you always have to be aware of your surroundings, especially nowadays. But like just knowing and having that like gut feeling about something, don't ever, you know, bypass that. Like, and I like that she still continued to, you know, pursue that. And I thought the ending was great. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, it was good. Like, when she went in that apartment, you're like, oh. Then when she seen her friend, oh my God! I was like, oh, what's happening here? I was freaking out.
Yeah, and that's based off a true story too.
Is
Oh,
there?
I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, that's giving goosebumps.
I
Well,
know.
no
Oh,
one's
no.
sleeping tonight now.
Okay, that's just took it up another level. Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'll stay right with Christina for her number 5, which was recent film, The Barbarian. Floor is yours, because I definitely got some comments on this.
So I didn't hate it, and mind you, I haven't seen a ton of movies this year, but ideally I liked it because it kept me on my toes. You know, it didn't bore me. It kept me engaged, and there was a lot of different, like the past and the present kind of backflash and stuff like that, which I really liked. But yeah, there are some scenes in that movie that were like, that's physically impossible. But overall, you know, I really like Justin Long. He always does such a good job in all his movies. So I do give him credit. And he always seems to take like the shittiest roles, but they're still really good, you know? So
Yeah.
I give him props for that.
Yeah, I was 50-50 on the film. I dug the whole premise and all that, but at the same time, my first problem is the title. What did it have to do with a barbarian? When you say barbarian, I think like a warrior and stuff. I'm like, I didn't really like why they call it that, and I did not like the ending of this giant fall doesn't kill her, but a bullet does. I was like, I was just confused with that one. I guess the ending is what killed it for me. Gotti, did you see this?
Yeah, I wanted to like it because I love Justin Long as well. I think he's a fantastic actor. And it was just a bit crap. Like, I enjoyed it up until Bill Skarsgård bought it. I liked the whole like I mean, she's brave. I wouldn't have gone in that house. I'd be like, no, I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, screw that. That made no sense to me. I was like, no woman would do that. You'd be like, no, I'm out of here. But whatever, I went with it, and I thought he was going to be, you know, something to do with it, and then he died, and I was like, oh. I was like, what's happening? And then the minute you seen the woman down in the basement, I was like, oh. And from then, it just kind of just kept going down.
This was Christina's and Scotty's, I think, favorite. This is number 4 for me. Terrifier 2.
Yes.
Obviously, I have a little bit of a hand in this film.
Yeah.
I helped bring it to Philadelphia, and I'm your almighty DJ for the film. Oh, guys, this is like a 3-year problem with COVID and all that to get the film done. David, the Levy brothers, Bill, I love all these guys. Elliot, they're all great people.
Oh, I just love the fact that Damien goes balls to the walls with his kills. Oh, brilliant. And it's practical effects, which is, you know, I'm kind of snobby in that sense. Like, I hate CGI. I get that you need to use it sometimes, but the fact that he went in and did everything, I was just like, yes. And David nailed it. You know, Damien addressed the issues with the first one, because I didn't feel like when I was watching the first one, I didn't feel like I connected with anyone. But with Sienna, you're like, yes, I like her. She's personable. She's lovely. You know, so just the whole thing, I enjoyed it. I even like the runtime. I think I've said this before because a few people have said the runtime's a bit too much. And I remember ages ago when Damien put it up and he was like, oh, I'm like 2.5 hours. And people were like, no, leave it. We want to see everything. So I think that's kind of maybe why he's kept so much footage, because so many people were going, leave it. We want to see everything. So
we're also in a streaming world now of we need content. We just need time.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you have to have it 82 minutes or 90 minutes anymore. I think it's kind of like, you're going over, so what? You know, we need content. So Chris, your thoughts?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I absolutely love this movie, and of course, you know, you had to be in it. Everything from the music, like the soundtrack, the special effects, the acting, I mean, all the little quirks and twists to that movie just made it. And I think it's one of the best films I've seen in a really long time, especially horror, obviously.
Cool, cool. All right, so Dave, I'm going to stay with you for your number 4. Yes. So I'll go off and give you the floor. I did not see this movie. I have no comment.
So this is a movie that when I heard Nicolas Cage was playing himself in a movie, I mean, everyone knows, there's jokes about Nicolas Cage that he is like simultaneously a good and bad actor and that he's like everything in one. And this movie just captures that. He's playing himself and he's this like super fan, wants to make a movie with him. And the movie they want to make starts to become the movie that you're watching. They're like, we should add a plot where people get kidnapped, and then people get kidnapped and like they have to rescue them. And it's just, it knows how to use Cage perfectly.
Cool. I like I said, I didn't see it. So, but Scotty, Chris, did you see this at all?
I saw the trailer, but it didn't really excite me. So
No.
Heard. All right, well, moving on. We'll go with Scotty's number 4, which is, and I approve.
Yes.
Orphan
Yeah.
First Kill.
It was so smart. I'm usually quite clued up when it comes to my horror movies, and that twist in the middle, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? 'Cause I was just like, yeah, did you go into it? Yeah, I didn't either. I went into it thinking, oh, it's going to be like the first one. Okay, whatever. What the balls? What the hell is going on? I was like, oh, this shit just turned, didn't it? I was like, wow. And I was like, from that point on, I was like, but she doesn't know that they know. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, what's happening? It was brilliant. They did amazing. And she still looks like a little girl. So.
And I always like Julia Stiles, so that's cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyone else see this movie?
I really liked it. You're right. Coming off the first one, it was fun to see Esther playing off other people who were just as terrible as she was. And just to see them like vicious and at each other's throats. I love the chaos.
Chris, your number 4 was the Hellraiser here. The floor is yours. It's all you.
This film, it's like I said, it wasn't my favorite, but also I just I thought it was a good take to a newer type of movie for a remake. It kind of reflects off of, like you were saying, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, kind of that same kind of cast. I do like that it started out with a sex scene, which was kind of hot. And that kind of, got it rolling for me because if not, probably wouldn't have made the list at all. But I did really like the practical effects. It did. It really sparked my attention. But the effects were really great. And I did like how they kind of changed up the puzzle box a little bit. And like, I don't know, just like the different Cinnabons, like everything. I just like the creativity that goes behind that, especially when it comes to practical effects and stuff like that. So, but like I said, another movie that did not bore me, so it made the list.
There we go. Any other comments, anybody?
We haven't had a good Hellraiser movie in almost like 20 years, and it was just refreshing to get one that was actually well made and creepy and made the Cenobites interesting and scary again, but also sexy.
There we go. Scotty, any comments or no?
It's on my list to watch. I've not watched it yet, but if it's getting good reviews, I'll definitely want to watch it because it was on there, and I've heard from other people as well said it was. So
cool. We're banging them out, so we're going to jump into the number 3. I know David definitely was someone who saw this. I think I saw it before you, but Clerks number 3. So yeah, this film straight up. I don't try to bet against Kevin Smith anymore. This is when he said he's going to do Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I'm like, you're spinning your tires. This isn't going to work. I thought the film was amazing. When he announced Clerks 3, I'm like, this isn't going to work. Boom, it did. So I really, really like this film. I did see it in Red Bank with Kevin present. I think, Dave, I think you were the screening after me, you might have been, or maybe the next day.
I was at the afternoon one. I think you, or I was at the evening one. I think you were at the afternoon one.
Okay, I was in the
I
afternoon.
think that's what it was. Yeah, but we were there the same day.
Gotcha. But yeah, we got to see it a couple weeks before everybody else. But man, I mean, Kevin just knows how to do his audience right. I think for an indie filmmaker such as myself, if I could ever get up to some sort of Kevin Smith level, I think that's the best way to do is to take your film on tour, meet your fans. You know what I mean? There's no way you lose that way because streaming just doesn't pay you outright. I think it's good to get back to your fans. You know your audience all the time because you're around them. I like the film as a whole a lot. That ending, I can't say I was stunned, but I was glad he did it. I'm glad what happened. I really am. I think you just couldn't have another like, oh, you ruined my day again. High five. I still love you. Next movie, it wouldn't have worked. I thought this was a good ending. I liked the development of every character. I thought it was kind of cool flashing back yet going forward. It's why it's my number 3. Dave, what are you thinking?
So, sort of like how you said with Terrifier 2, I'm a little biased in that I'm friends with some of the people who are in it. That said, probably my favorite Kevin Smith film that he's directed, like in the last decade. It captured the heart of it, and it's like these are the characters that he started his whole View Askew universe with. He knows these characters, and you see that, but better than anything else, you see how they've grown in like the nearly 30 years since that first movie.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to stick with you, Dave, because Scotty, I don't know. I think she had to run to the bathroom, but obviously she's having technical difficulties. So you're number 3. Yes. Brother, this looks good. I'll be honest, I did not see it, but Nicole Kidman's face is always amazing to look at as of late.
Yeah, the North she's great in it. Great cast. The Northman is like, it's like Game of Thrones the movie. Like it is so like its depiction of Viking culture. It shows all the brutality where you're like, "Oh my god, they're burning a village filled with children and this is the good guy." Like this is the guy that we're supposed to root for, and he's going on a raid and just killing people. It's essentially the story of Hamlet. It's like the Norse myth that that Shakespeare based Hamlet on. And I love how there's no real, like it's not so simple as this is the good guy, this is the bad guy, this is right, this is wrong. It's just here's these opposing characters in this very harsh world, and it has the blood and gore to back it up.
Scotty, are you hearing us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Sorry.
All right. Don't worry. I was making funny and saying you had the runs, so yeah, cool. All right. Well, Scotty, we're right at you. Scotty, the floor is yours with Elvis, which I definitely have something to say about this movie, but the floor is yours at the moment.
I think they did amazing with it, to be honest. Austin Butler, I think I went into this movie so I will actually put a disclaimer with that. I went into this movie with a lot of nostalgia for it because my dad was a big Elvis fan.
Okay.
And I remember wanting to see it, and then he passed away. So
Sun Records. That's for Elvis, Jerry Lee, and yeah. So.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even see that.
That's actually awesome. From Sun Records. I went when I passed through Memphis. So I went there. I went to Elvis's house, and I went to Jerry Lee Lewis's house. This is like 4 years ago when he was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I seen it at the cinema, I was like, it was really emotional. I mean, I think just like the style of it, I think my dad would have liked it, maybe not from the arty side of it, but I think Austin Butler did an amazing job. I think, as much as I don't want to hate Tom Hanks, I think he portrayed the Colonel really well, and I didn't like him, which is kind of the point. And it was brilliant. It was really good.
Cool. The movie was definitely through Colonel Tom Parker's eyes. That's what the movie was supposed to be about. So the first thing I say about that film is, the guy that played Elvis did a really good job. the first real thing that pops out is the production value was wow, like just stellar. I mean, it hit on all points. I dug the whole idea of the narration of like what through Tom Parker. He's telling the story. I dug Elvis, like how he got famous with that performance. He's wearing the pink and everyone's making fun of him, and he starts shaking and just destroys the stage. I dug it. Two big problems I have: it's too long, and I just thought the plot was just. They skipped over Sun Records so fast. Like they didn't even bring up like Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee. To me, Sun Records is an extremely big part of the Elvis history in that whole community. And it was just glossed over. I did think it was cool, that Little Richard part. I thought that was cool. Like, all right, we're going to show. But I was kind of hoping there was a little bit of walk the line where wasn't just Johnny. He's with Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins and, this one, that one. I thought that, and Elvis, I guess I was kind of hoping for that. But I did dig the part of like how much he loved his mom and dad, because that goes without saying. Like they're all buried there in Graceland and stuff. So I just thought for an updated movie, I was a little put off. I just thought it could have went in a different direction, but production value, wow. Like, wow. And Priscilla didn't come into the last, half hour?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, that was a little weird, because when you say Elvis, you think of Priscilla. But Dave, out of Christina, I don't know if you saw this or no.
So I'm typically not a big music biopic fan, just because I feel like it's tough to cram a person's whole life into a movie.
Of course.
That said, my wife did make me watch. I mean, I got to watch it with my wife, and Austin Butler is great. What the hell accent is Tom Hanks doing? I still don't know. It sounds half Southern, half Italian, half cartoon, and I don't know what to make of it.
I like that. It's a good one. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, then we're jumping into Christina's number 3. Wow, we're knocking this right out. So, yes, I can't tell you I saw this movie. So, Christina, the floor is yours.
Yeah, this movie just has a little bit of everything in it. It's action-packed, it's comedy, it's science fiction, it's just heartwarming, it's drama, it's love, it's, I don't know, anything with like time travel. I really like those types of movies, and I just really thought it was just fun to watch. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self, to do something different, to save the world, or do anything differently. I just find that, I don't know. And then Ryan Reynolds, he kills everything. Once again, like, he's amazing. He just makes me laugh every time.
Cool. I don't know if did anyone else see this, because I don't have any comment. I didn't see it. No.
I love Ryan Reynolds. Have not seen it.
Yeah, me too. I'm one of them. It's Ryan Reynolds, and I can't do it. Sorry. All right. I got everyone's 3, I believe, right? Yeah, yours was Elvis. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So we're down to the top 2 here. All right. So I have a tie. I put this as, you'll see what in a second. Why? So I have 2 movies here, but you guys will understand. Love these films, both of them. X, right into F and Pearl. Guys, I mean, I'm so into those two films. Number 1, I grew up watching a lot of porn, and I still have all my DVDs. I haven't seen them in a long time, but I love that whole idea of the 70s and all that. Right out of the gate, I just think a lot of horror movies are lacking nudity too. I just think like everyone's like, I just dug this whole idea, and what the character was of Pearl. I got right into her, and I dug the whole idea of what made her messed up. And when they flipped from X into Pearl for the prequel, I love that whole Wizard of Oz, like the dark side of Wizard of Oz kind of thing they were going with, because they were kind of making her out as like Dorothy, but she's not Dorothy. She's got a messed up family and everything. I dug Pearl a lot. I dug the whole idea for, her husband's away at war and all that, and she gets messed up. Cinematography, I love the actress. I thought both of these films as I had to put them in one category. I'm not going to put them in two and one or anything. So I dug them a lot. Christina, did you see these two?
Yes.
Thoughts?
I did not like X at all.
Really? Okay.
I will give it a something. I'm not going to say it was like horrible, but like Pearl definitely was a lot better in my opinion. But listen, like the whole, like you said, like the porno thing, and like that's great. I mean, if I want to watch a porno, I'll just go watch a porno. But like the fact that they put it in a movie, okay, whatever. But I don't know, like when it got to like the old folks fucking and shit, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this no more. And then yeah, I don't know. The effects were cool.
That's gonna be us someday. We're all gonna be old and be still trying to have sex. So
I don't know. I just don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pearl though was definitely an upgrade. The fact that these both came out the same year too, like what?
I think they were filming at the same time. They might.
Yeah, like that's just crazy.
They were shot back to back, same location because they were already out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, the girl. Who was the girl that played Pearl? What's her name again?
Mia Goth.
Goth. Yeah, she did a great job. She was in the first one too. X, right? Too.
Yeah.
As both Maxine and old Pearl.
Yes. But
I dug her ending so much when she had the smile and like they extended that smile, like she knows she's effed up, and like I couldn't stop laughing because they extended that for like a good minute of that. With the credits
like
going
the whole
up.
Credits run, everyone in the theater was so uncomfortable as that shot just lingered.
And that was the point. That's another reason I like it because it was different. It was different. It was new. It was kind of fresh. You could say X was a little bit of a tribute. I mean, we kind of seen you can almost feel a little Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to it, but it wasn't, But David, yeah, keep going. If any thoughts on those two.
Yeah, no, X. I love a good vintage slasher. I love that it. To Christina's point, it tapped into our inherent fear of aging.
Yes.
I do agree. I like Pearl better just because of Mia Goth's lead performance. I felt like the way that I described it to people is Pearl is if Lizzie Borden was a Disney princess. That's Pearl.
I like it. Scotty, do you see these at all?
I've seen X. I've not seen Pearl yet, but I liked X. There was a few bits I was like, but for the most part, yeah, it was good. She did a good job, and I think she carried that movie herself. So
she definitely did. Yeah, she's the torch of it. We'll probably be seeing her at Cannes shortly, but I think she'll be in a high demand. All right, so we'll flip over to David's number 2, which is another movie I did not see. So the floor is yours. Yeah.
So Everything Everywhere All at Once was a movie that kind of came out of nowhere. I saw ads for it, went to see it, and it's just in a sea of, I mean, we would all agree that there's way too many remakes, requels, sequels, reboots. This was just a fun, fresh, original movie that's completely insane, that deals with like the multiverse and this woman like having to travel between different versions of herself. And as Marvel is trying so hard to do multiverse stuff with like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man No Way Home, this movie did it better, and it did it for like 1/10 of the budget.
Nice. Awesome. Is this something that was made for Netflix, or is this like a regular theater release?
No, it was an A24 movie, came out in theaters.
Okay.
It's streaming on Showtime right now.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. Like that and the other one, the Barbarian movie that you had, that's definitely got. I got to catch up, but I keep saying that. But we're almost halfway through winter, so. But cool. Sky, did you see this one at all? Any comments?
No, I've not seen it. There is one that I really want to see as well. It's definitely on a list, but I don't think it's streaming in the UK at the minute, so
cool.
Gotta wait.
I'm so glad you're from the UK and I got some from another country on my show right now. Scotty, we'll stick with your number 2, which was Fresh.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the floor is yours. I did not see this.
Oh wow. It kind of like surprised me. I think it was on Netflix, and I just thought, oh, I'll just chuck this on. It'll do. It was just chilling one night, And I was actually quite pleasantly surprised, considering it's like a cannibal movie. They've kind of, I mean, women in horror at the minute are making some questionable choices, but okay. But, you know, I thought it was going to be a bit different to what, I mean, at first I didn't even know it was a cannibal movie. And, you know, as you get further into it and you find out what they're doing, it's kind of twisted and kind of messed up. But I don't want to spoil it for anybody if they've not seen it, because it does get revealed quite quickly what's going on. And then she's in this sort of psychological mind game with the guy, the baddie. I don't want to say too much.
Cool.
But yeah, it's good.
David, did you see this?
I did. Actually, I love this one. I did a top 10 list of the horror movies in June, like top 10 of the year so far. Fresh was on it. Not since From Dusk Till Dawn has a movie so successfully pulled off a total genre shift, like a third into the movie, because it starts off as like a romantic comedy, and to Scotty's point, you don't realize it's going to be like a horror movie, and then you're like, oh my god, where are we going with this?
You sure Cabin in the Woods didn't do that? Because they definitely pulled that lever for sure. I love that movie.
They do, but you still see the lab at the beginning, so you know something's up.
Gotcha.
This movie, it comes out of left field.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And you the audience are as surprised as the character is, and that's kind of the point.
Cool. All right, so wow, we're down to our number ones. Bang. All right. My number one, and I'm an 80s buff, and when they said they were announcing this movie, I was like, this is probably going to be bad. And it wasn't. It was the highest grossing film of the year over and over again. I'm actually happy being bled in my eyes by the last actual Hollywood movie star. I believe there's only one left. And that I go, without a doubt, Maverick was my favorite film of the year. I thought it hit on and ran on all cylinders. I thought it tribute the past, came forward. It's a character we already knew. We knew this movie was coming. I was fearful of it, and I loved this film from start to finish. I did get a little mad. I thought there was a woke moment of they called the bad guys the enemy. They did not, because they didn't want to name another country. I was just like, but whatever.
They didn't want to piss off whatever market they were trying to sell the movie to.
God, probably.
If they named the country, then it wouldn't do well in that country.
So they said the enemy. That was it. The enemy is coming. We got to fight the enemy. It's like, but
they could have said ISIS or something.
Yeah, they could have named someone. Yeah, I don't know. They could have made a name up, you know. But no, I thought it was great. I thought it was a cool way of getting Val Kilmer in there and also kind of bringing his current state of, you know, his personal life that, you know, he can't really talk. I thought it was a cool way to get. The only thing I thought would have been cool is, you know, spoiler, when Ice's character passes on, I thought it would have been cool if they had the old cast all show up at the funeral. It would have been a kind of a cool way to get everybody that you didn't see. But I really love this movie. This was the movie I felt like a kid, I guess. I was running out of theater and I wanted to throw punches. Like, yeah, Maverick, USA. I was almost ready to yell one of those. That's how much I like this movie. Dave, yeah, did you see this?
Sadly, I have not, and I'm really mad at myself that I missed it in IMAX, because I heard it's got a lot of like practical stunts and like jets flying that I should have seen on the giant screen.
Cool. Sky, did you see this at all? No?
No, I have not. No. Sorry.
I don't think Christina did. Yeah. It's all good. All right. So then moving on to, this was a good one. I like this choice. David's number one was The Batman. I definitely have some opinion on this one, but Dave, the floor is yours.
I'm vengeance. So anybody who knows me, I've been obsessed with Batman since I was a little kid. So I was always going to love this movie. But what I love that this one did that I haven't seen done in a live action movie of Batman before, it's actually a detective story.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I know it's the Riddler, but it's basically Batman versus Zodiac. And I love that it's that like serial killer detective vibe to it. I love that certain scenes of it, you almost feel like you're watching Saw with like the contraptions like the Riddler puts people in. And I think Robert Pattinson kind of continues the trend of a Batman actor casting that everybody hates at first, and then they win you over in the movie. Nobody believed in Michael Keaton when he was cast. Nobody believed in Ben Affleck, and nobody believed in Pattinson. And all three of them proved them wrong.
Yeah. No, that you got a valid point, because I was definitely I screened when Ben Affleck got that role, and I guess Patterson too. But I like Christian Bale's Batman would have never worked in Justice League because he was a completely unlikable guy. Like, I don't think he could talk to Aquaman. I can't see Christian Bale talking to Aquaman or Superman that way, or one of them not getting his ass kicked. Where, like, Ben Affleck was kind of like, okay, I'm the human here, but watch. I got all the tools. Listen to me. I got some good info. Let's try to make a right game plan. He was a likable character. So the thing I liked about the Batman was it continued that Joker grimy setting. Like, you know what I mean? You felt like the Joker was so good. It really was. But I felt like you were bringing, it was just the page turned to the other side. Like, okay, now we're going to go over here and show you what Batman was doing. I know it's a different timeline, but I liked it. I thought it was, I definitely liked the Riddler guy a lot. The only beef I had was the length of time. I didn't think
it's a long movie, yeah.
It started getting dragged out, and after a while, I was starting to look at. I'm like, that's Robert Pattinson. That's not Batman, because I'm staring at him too long. I'm like, yeah.
I'll tell you though, that whole car chase scene with the Penguin, amazing. When he's like,
Penguin needed an upgrade, because like, what is Penguin like the fight, the physically fight Batman? I was like, it was kind of cool. I was like, all right, we got a gangster. Like that needed to happen. And I like how they kind of knew each other. Like, they already kind of showed there was a prehistory that they knew each other.
You got the sense that, like, to your point, this is a very crime-ridden, nasty city that needs a Batman.
Yeah. And I dug the dark ending where, like, he saved the day, but a lot of people didn't make it. Like, he just saved the second half from it getting worse. I think Batman needed an ending like that. It's been a while, so I dug the almost graphic novel, grimy Watchmen. I know it's a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
and I mean, it in the opening scene, it's Halloween night. What more do you want from a Batman movie?
Yeah. So wow, guys, and for anyone who wasn't, got lost track, Scotty and Christina's pick was Terrifier for number 1. So we kind of cross canceled everything here, but we just blew through our list. That's awesome. So, guys, this was thank you so much for coming on. I don't know if we have any final words. Does anyone have any plugs or anything looking forward to next year film wise?
No, but we should definitely do a best TV series.
Yes. Gold.
Because I watch a lot of TV series.
I think half of mine are going to be in the 70s and the 80s. So cool. No, I like that. Let's revisit that in the winter. In the next couple of months, like the next snowstorm. Like, we're getting that foot of snow, and we're just stuck inside. But we'll reach out and get everything going.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So, everybody who took the time to watch the show, thank you. We drop a new show every Monday. We are available on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Scotty, Dave, and Christina, thank you so much for coming on. And I know everyone kind of does their own world here, so start with Scotty. Feel free to plug any plugs you got.
I've just got my YouTube channel, which is literally just Scotty, like it is on the screen. So just check it out.
Sweet. David?
I run Halloween Year Round, the YouTube channel, and the blog, HalloweenYearRound.com.
Sweet. Christina?
I also have a YouTube channel. It's just PuffX right on the screen. Go follow it for all your horror and Halloween movie and makeup fun.
Sweet. Christina, how come your hair looks so dark?
I just dyed it. You know that.
Awesome.
I know. It looks good, don't it?
Oh, it does. Totally amazing. Great. All right. Well, with that, I will thank this audience for taking the time to stop by. I will thank my guest again one more time. And I'm sure I'll see you all at a convention. Scotty, that might be a little hard. You're living in the UK, but someday we'll make something happen.
Yes, we'll make it
definitely.
happen.
Sweet.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys.
And with that, I will say the party is over.